Well, welcome to Diamond Mountain.
Добро пожаловать в Алмаз.
Hi, Bertha. Welcome to
Hi.
Diamond Mountain. I see lots of new faces and many, many old friends. I'm really happy to see all of you. It makes me feel very comfortable being here. Yeah. So we're doing a mountain house presentation today, and the title for the prompt is Stepping Back to Move Forward. So I'm Janice Sanders. I'm from Silverton, Colorado, and I'll be presenting today with Eva Bowser from Frankfurt, Germany, and Bertha Velasco from Mexico City. So we have an international group presenting some really cool stuff to help us to learn how to use the perfection of wisdom, or the first perfection of giving or sharing, and how to develop our bodhicitta with that sharing. And then Eva is going to close with wrapping it up, how we can make it into a daily practice when we're feeling all distressed, anger, frustrated, or struggling with people around us, so that we can have a sense of calm, which we all need sometimes. Okay, so I want to welcome Bertha. She will be presenting the first segment of our presentation today. You look awesome, by the way. Welcome, Bertha.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, dear Janice. Well, yes, we're going to be talking about the 6 perfections, and I'm going to be talking about the first one. So, which is giving, right? If I can have the first slide, please, Gina. Okay, well, it's coming. So let me tell you a little bit. When I first learned this from our Holy Lama about the perfection of giving, honestly, the very first thing that came to mind was, I want more money. Who doesn't want more money, right? Everybody wants more money. So I thought, okay, I need to really get some money seeds and plant some money and just do as much as I can to have money. So I became instantly a big tipper. So I started giving big tips, everybody. You know, in Mexico City, we have a lot of service people. So, excuse me? Am I talking too fast? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
Whoever in the room has their phone on, please mute your microphone or something.
Okay. As I was saying, I became an instant big tipper, giving tips everywhere, trying to give money away all the time, right? So I even started having a can where I would put all my change from the week to collect money in this can. And then once it was pretty heavy, my task was to look for someone, and I would have a goal for the week to find somebody that I would give this to. And, you know, and that became so much fun in doing this all the time. And I really look forward to, I would have my mission on once a week to say, okay, the very first person that I see that needs this, I'm going to give them this. And I had fun doing that. But then as I went deeper into the teachings, I started having some questions. And these questions came to my mind. And I thought, have you noticed, now that we know the seed system, right, that sometimes you give and you give and you give, and you are not getting the results as fast as you hope for? Or that sometimes you would try it for a short period of time and you think that you are not getting results, right? Okay, thank you. Well, one thing is we tend to think that it's immediate, you know, but when you stop and you realize that if I plant tomatoes today, I'm not going to get tomatoes for my fresh salad tomorrow. It takes time, right? Another thing is that our holy teacher also says that probably we're not doing enough coffee meditation. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But we also need to go to a deeper level, right? There are some fine points that are important that need to be considered. And my friends Janice and Eva will be talking about this in depth a little bit later. At any rate, also these led me to some questions that I had, and I would love to share with you and see what you think. You may find yourselves, a little bit reflected in this. I'm going to, my suggestion is that you could answer with always, frequently, sometimes, rarely, or never. And this is just for yourself. Let's just do this exercise. So the first question I had for myself is, am I giving to create debt? And what I mean by that is that, I would say to my friends, oh, let's go for lunch. I'll buy this time. Is that implying that the next time I meet my friend, it's her turn to buy? Or, I'm bringing you this birthday gift. Does that mean that on my birthday, I expect you to give me a birthday gift? The second question I had is, am I giving to show others how generous I am? Start answering for yourselves. Or am I giving to reinforce the image I have of myself? Or get this one, am I giving as an obligation? Let me tell you, recently my niece Lorena invited me to a dinner party to celebrate her mother's birthday. And I know of her, but she's not like my friend or anything. But all of a sudden I'm going, well, I really don't want to buy her a gift, right? But since everyone attending will be bringing a gift, I guess I'm going to have to bring one. So that is out of obligation, right? The next one is, well, am I giving for recognition? Or, this is a good one. If no one knew that I was giving or that I'm giving this, would I give the same way? Or really, am I giving out of genuine care? Just because how it makes me feel before, during, and after. So when I had all these questions to myself, it changed my entire way of thinking. I had to reframe everything. But here comes a good one. When our Holy Lama talked about sharing, well, that just totally made a huge shift in my mind. Because I realized what I was doing, I was going from the outer layers of mundane results, and it gave me a whole new perspective. And he said that sharing was more precise on the meaning of the Tibetan word for the first perfection. So I loved it because an entire universe just unfolded for me, because now it included a whole variety of new things, right? Hugs, smiles, all kinds of things. And you know what? That is when I realized that money, or just money, is not what I really wanted. It wasn't it. What I really wanted was quality time with others. What I really wanted, I wanted to enjoy spending time with my friends and my family. I wanted to learn from others. There were so many things that I could learn from people. I wanted spiritual growth. I wanted to share experiences with them. I wanted true and meaningful relationships. That's what I really wanted. So I decided to practice within my close circle of family and friends, just for fun, just to see. So I started with candy and chocolate, small gifts, some little notes or some messages, and yes, also some money. And I was hiding them, in their belongings. I would slip it into their backpack or leave it in the glove compartment, and, or putting it in the pockets of jackets, and, just leaving it in different places. And that became more fun because now I found myself looking for new places to hide things everywhere I went. See? And it didn't matter the result. It didn't matter when they found it, because my motivation was for them to have a nice surprise, to all of a sudden, have sudden happiness, to bring a smile on their face. I was trying to foster this meaningful relationships, to show that I care, that I was thinking of them. I'm sorry, I'll talk slower. This was a beautiful meaning to me. And I just thought it was so deep. And the magnificent news is that years of doing these fun, small activities, it ripened recently in a super nice surprise vacation trip for my son. It was incredible. It was a total surprise. I was not expecting. From New Kingdom to New York. It was amazing. And I was so happy about that. But the key here is to do things correctly, right? Motivation, what our motivation is. Because this motivation is what's going to perpetuate, our seeds into the future. We know that seeds grow and multiply. And these eventually are going to create a beautiful world for us, a beautiful world for all of us to share. So this was it just made me so happy. And after my amazing trip, which hasn't been long, I've just been back for a month. And let me tell you, I did not realize what was going on. But I came back and I started feeling sad. I started feeling nostalgic. I started feeling, I didn't have clarity. I started missing my son and thinking about all that. My health even started deteriorating. You can also still hear me kind of, like I have a cold. But I blamed it on allergies. And I was feeling so sorry for myself. And all of a sudden, I get this message from Sarah, our friend Sarah, we all know, right? Sarah. And I get this email that says, we would like for you to share the perfection of giving and how it's helping you in our lives. And I was like, oh my God, talk about a wake-up call. I mean, all of a sudden, it was so powerful for me. I thought, okay, my God, that's it. I've got to change my, my way of thinking and what I'm doing. So then immediately after that, I had a meeting with my friends, Janice and Eva, right? And all of a sudden, sharing was brought back into my top of mind immediately. I needed immediate action. And I started wondering to myself, what had I been sharing since I came back from my trip? Well, sadness, missing, pity, not feeling good, not having fun. So I thought, oh my gosh, I must go back to the principles of giving. What happened to me? I have to give what I want, right? So first of all, if I want health, what do I need to do? Help people with their health, right? So I began immediately. I started paying attention to lots of people around me. Here in Mexico City, it changed a couple days ago, but it had been very cold. So there was a lot of people, a lot of people that were sick. So I started paying attention to them, sharing, giving them tea. I had throat lozenges. I had aloe vera tissue, to hand to everyone. And I started just being as attentive as I could. I would watch their eyes when people came over to my house and try to see what their needs were, following their eyes to try to obviously give them what they were needing. And I was serving them from the bottom of my heart, all kinds of tea and, recipes or things that were helping me. Then I also thought, I need to water the seeds. I have tons of seeds. And I started doing my coffee meditation. And the reason I said I have tons of seeds is because I took care of my sick elder parents for 18 years. And I did it from the bottom of my heart. So I do have a lot of seeds. And I thought, my gosh, I must get busy with this. So let me tell you that I already feel much better. It was incredible. I mean, I couldn't even open my eyes. I was even telling my friends, my eyes are watering so bad, I can't stand it. Well, that's over. I'm on my way. I'm not perfect, but I'm on my way. Then I also went on a sharing sprint, right? So I started inviting friends over for dinner, cooking for them. I would ask them to go have some fun activities that are now starting all over in my city anyways. And I went to the supermarket and I left 100 peso bills in different locations, behind the milk, where the bread was, where the vegetables are, just for having fun, just to think, you know, about their faces when they would find it. It didn't matter who, just the simple act of just them having, have a very nice surprise all of a sudden. So here is my next question. So how can we create a world that we want to share? How can we have, using this, how can we create a future life that I want for me and for others? The most important thing, as I've mentioned, is our motivations. Be careful. No strings attached. No strings attached. Not expecting to get back anything. And overall, doing it also with bodhicitta. So here I have the pleasure of not introducing because you already heard her talk, an amazing practitioner. I have known Janice for, oh my gosh, I don't even remember how many years, Janice. It's been a long time. As well as Eva, of course. And she is going to share with us some of the key elements that we must keep in mind in order for us to become the best version of ourselves amidst all the roles and responsibilities that we have in our everyday life. So Janice, please, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Bertha. Thank you for that nice introduction. Bertha covered many types of sharing, and it's really important that we understand that sharing is not limited to giving money to get money. Sharing is just being available to help someone in need and giving them what they need, not necessarily what we want. So it's important to recognize that your sharing can be utilized to help other people first, and then everything just comes to you anyway. And that links to developing our bodhicitta. And we're so lucky because today Jacqueline gave us an excellent meditation on developing our bodhicitta and how we can benefit from it. So thank you, Jacqueline. Yeah. So really, the more times we hear it, the more it's going to sink in and the more seeds that we're planting to achieve it for ourselves. So I'm going to talk about this word bodhicitta. Jacqueline mentioned it this morning, and I'm going to mention it again. Bodhi means Buddha, and citta means mind. So together, it's bodhicitta. And sometimes people think that bodhicitta means having a Buddha mind or an enlightened mind. But really, the word bodhicitta means the wish, and as Jacqueline said, wish with a capital W, the wish for total enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. Or if we put it into modern terms, it would be the wish, capital W, the wish. We really want to become someone, become our very best self for the benefit of others. And we're going to link this to a daily practice, because it's hard. We want to, how many of you want to become your best self? Raise your hand. Yeah, I want to become my best self too. But what if it requires you to also want it for other people? Does it get a little stickier then, a little tougher, if you have to include everybody else? Does anybody have any problems with that? I do. Yeah, I do. I want to be my best self, and I want to help others. But what if you have somebody that you just have a lot of problems with? They frustrate you. They make you angry. Could I have that first slide with the red car, please? I have a story. It's my neighbor. Drives me crazy. He has this giant dog that's always coming into my yard to poop, and he doesn't pick up the poop. And not only that, he parks his car in, there he is. I don't live near an ocean, but this is the best I could do. He parks this car in the alleyway, and it blocks our access to our homes. That's a problem, and I get frustrated. You know, it's not that big of an inconvenience. I can drive out the other way, but I don't like it that he thinks he can put his car wherever he wants, blocking me and my other neighbors' access. So I have to include this guy that makes me so angry and so frustrated into one of those people that I want to help. And it's a struggle for me. So what are we going to do? What kind of practice are we going to do so that we can bring even those people who frustrate us into the beings we want to help? You know, like it could be our business partner, our husband or wife, our children. It could be anybody. What will we do when the times get stretched and we're feeling anxious and angry? Well, I had to do this with my neighbor. Just pause, take a deep breath, and take a moment to examine what's going on in their world. That's like one of my favorite topics of exchanging self with others. Looking into their world to see what it is that they need or what is causing them to behave in these ways that make me feel really angry. And I remembered something about him. His wife has been sick for a long time, and he has to take her to the hospital for treatments. And because of that, he lost his job. So I got to thinking, without a job, you know, maybe he doesn't have the money to fix that hole in the fence that giant dog comes into my yard through. And maybe there's not enough dog food to feed that hungry dog because they can't afford it. And maybe he parks his car in the alley because it's easier for his wife to get into the vehicle to go for her treatments. And then all of a sudden, once I've paused and thought about this person and what he needs, it made me start feeling compassion for him. I recognize that he's suffering. I recognize that I'm suffering. So we have equanimity in our shared suffering. And Jacqueline mentioned, you know, children. If we saw a child in the park and they fell off the swing, the merry-go-round or whatever, and they hurt themselves, what would we do? We would rush to help them. We'd want to stop their pain. And really, it is in our best interest and in human nature that we really want to stop other people's pain too. So when I thought about that, it made me realize that I could have compassion for this person, and then it initiated a little bit of love. You know, I would love to help this person so that, you know, I can reach my goal because I have to help him reach his goals. So I thought of conventional ways I could help him. You know, we could get out with the rest of the neighbors, bring them in, and, you know, take turns giving the rides to his wife to get medical treatments. And then he could go look for another job. I can share my dog's food. I mean, my dog's so picky it won't eat the food half the time. So why not give it to the other dog? And, you know, instead of judgment, condemnation, and just looking out the window all the time to see if that dog is in my yard again, I can do something different. I can help them. So that's what it feels like to start generating bodhicitta in our lives. And just taking a look at other people and seeing what we can share with them to help us develop our bodhicitta and to help them. And that's the description of bodhicitta. But it's also really nice to think about feeling. What would it feel like to be a person who could help not only your neighbor, but everyone in your town, everyone in your state, your country? How about everybody in the world? How about everyone in all the galaxies? You know, we're really in a special place here at Diamond Mountain. When you look up at night, when you look up and see the sky, there are stars everywhere. And those stars are like our sun. And there are probably planets revolving around them, and those planets most likely have people on them. What would it feel like if we could jump from planet to planet in a single instant and help whoever needed us at any time that they needed us? You know, it would take us the ability to have a body that could emanate, and emanate means to have, you know, billions of little me's out there. But I would take the form and shape of whatever the person who needed me, I could appear how they needed me. Like if someone were thirsty, I could be a glass of water. If someone needed to get somewhere and there was a river, I could be a bridge. To emanate wherever someone needed me and to do it spontaneously. And to be wise, have the wisdom of past, present, and future, all three times, so that we would know perfectly what we could share with this person to help them reach their bodhicitta, to help them reach their ultimate goal. And that would be Buddhahood. Oh, thanks for changing that slide. You're so intuitive, Gina. You know, little me's, little you's everywhere, just bouncing across the galaxy, helping people. You know, so how do we get this feeling? And we want to get it because when we get this feeling of the bodhicitta sort of state of mind, it creates a powerful good karma in us. And we really need to even start working on bodhicitta right now, because without it, our other practices won't progress. So, you know, it's a good thing to think about. And Jacqueline got us launched this morning with that excellent meditation. And another thing, as we prepare for Tantra, it's really important to believe that we can become what we imagine. It's a bad deed not to believe that you won't become that. So keep that in mind as you progress through your practice. Now, a simple way to get this feeling is to really imagine that you're that person who can have a rainbow body that can spontaneously be anywhere at any time that someone needs us and show up in any form. And it's fun. I was driving down from Colorado yesterday. I'm really proud of this. I drove 545 miles to get here. Yeah, well, thanks. I know a lot of you came a lot further. But I was pretty proud of that. And as I was driving, I was crossing through state lines. You know, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and finally in Arizona. And every time I crossed a boundary, I was imagining that I was starting to leap across planets. Although I was just going across state lines. But, you know, it's that imagination, that visualization that we're doing something or becoming something different than we are right now, that plants the seeds, that plants the karma for us to become that. So that was my little happiness yesterday. Yeah, okay. And not only that, it's really important that when we get this feeling that we feel good about it and feel good about our practice to becoming a bodhisattva. And here's some good things to also encourage you to do this. You know, when you start doing this practice, things start to change in your world. I was, you know, like Jacqueline, she did this presentation this morning that, you know, kind of benefited this talk now. Things are changing. We're all here together to learn how to create a better place, not only for ourselves, but for everyone else. So things are changing, and our karma is shifting. And when we become a bodhisattva, we become a daughter or a son of all the Buddhas. And we get a new name. We get a degree in bodhisattvas. And it's pretty cool. And also, you might know people who they have a really great practice. They're always happy. They're not getting upset. They don't have anger. But when you state of mind, you're much bigger than that. They're like a flashlight in the closet, while someone with bodhisattva state of mind is like the sun lighting up this whole valley. Your practice is that much more powerful. And here's another tip. We become a garden for other people to plant seeds with. When we serve a bodhisattva, even just giving them a smile, bringing them a glass of water, or just asking them how they're feeling, we're planting power. They are planting powerful seeds. That person that serves you, bodhisattva you, plants powerful seeds that will help them become their highest self. And also, it's a very efficient practice, because as a bodhisattva, you get places much faster. You're like heavy equipment, moving big rocks. You know, instead of a little ant moving a little teeny pebble, you're moving mountains, and you get to your goal much more quickly. Yeah, and we all want to get there fast so we can help those people everywhere. And also, having the bodhisattva state of mind, it removes obstacles. You know, we've had infinite amounts of lifetimes, so we've planted a lot of bad karma and a lot of good karma. But when we visualize ourselves jumping from planet to help people, we're removing those obstacles. They're not going to get in our way of our practice, so our practice can move more fast. So it's cool. Okay, and I really like this next one. Okay, so I was thinking about ice cream. I like Haagen-Dazs coffee flavor, by the way. So I was thinking about that, and you know, I don't have any. I live 60 miles from a big grocery store. I can get ice cream in Silverton, but it's about that much for $10 when it's under $4 in Durango. So I don't always have ice cream. But when you think about it, things just sort of appear before you organically. They just happen. And I opened my freezer to get ready to come down here, and I found a little carton of my favorite ice cream. I didn't know it was there, so I was pretty happy, and I ate it. Okay? So things just come to you. Your karma is working so fast that you think of something and it arrives before you. And also, you know, we've planted bad seeds. As I mentioned, we planted good seeds also. But those bad seeds could cause us trouble now. But with this state of mind of wanting to help everyone everywhere be their best selves, it blocks that trouble. It's like we're in a bubble, a diamond bubble, and that trouble can't reach us. And I think that's pretty darn cool. I don't want trouble, and I'll bet you don't either. Okay, and finally, we all know that there are 5 paths to our total enlightenment, and there's also 10 bodhisattva levels. But when we have this state of mind, we whiz through every part of that, and we get there much faster. It's like we're attempting to climb Mount Everest, and it's a lot of work, but we could, all of a sudden, it's like a helicopter I think Star Trek fans, we get beamed up there. We get beamed up there in an instant, and we're on top of the tallest mountain in the world like that. It speeds up our practice. Now, this is for you guys. The bodhisattva state of mind gives you the ability to help others. You share with others just by being a bodhisattva. Because if they smile at you, bodhisattva you know, they make amazing amount of good karma. Good karma that's going to speed up their practice to reach their best self like that. So you are sharing all the time what people need to get to their ultimate goal. And that's what we all want to do. So being a bodhisattva is you. You're sharing happiness with everyone, everywhere. So thanks, and that was a lot of fun for me. But now we have dear Eva from Frankfurt, Germany, to wrap up this sharing, this developing our bodhicitta to a daily practice, and she's going to talk to us about how we can make that practice much stronger. So welcome, Eva.
Okay. You said you're going to have me have the last base
Oh,
the
yeah,
home
yeah.
run.
Hey, yeah, I told her this. I said, okay, so the bases are loaded. If you know baseball, I think maybe many of you do baseball. The bases are loaded. Bertha and I are on first and third, and we need a home run. Eva is going to hit the ball out of the park and bring us home. Yay, Eva!
So let's see if I can do that. So let's try to wrap this up. Giving is a thing, I'd say, right? Giving is the first perfection, and it's a thing. Giving is very important. We all know that. Because without giving, it is impossible to get anything, right? Which is why we have the 4 steps. So the first perfection is about giving, because we all want things, and it's impossible to get them if you don't give, right? But it's called a perfection for a reason. It's not as easy as it looks. Coming back to Bertha's thing, sometimes you give and give and give, but you have less and less energy. And you go like, hang on a minute, why don't I've been really generous, am I not a millionaire? And I think it's a legitimate question. And possibly people ask themselves, do I do something wrong? And I have 2 hearts in my mind here, 2 ideas in my heart. One is, you can't really go wrong with giving. And the other one is, you might do something wrong. Let's have a look at that, shall we? We want to go into the art of giving, because I do think there are some pitfalls. And if you know them and you're aware of them, you can go around it and your giving is perfecting and you get all the results that we want, because it is a transformative exercise, right? It's not just boring or giving or unimportant. It is the first perfection. It's going to get us everything we want, including a body of light that travels from planet to planet, right? Okay, so let's see. When Bertha at the beginning said, you plant and plant and plant, but you don't get results, we are not saying that giving doesn't work. I just want to make sure we understand that. Giving works in whatever way. Giving always works. So it's something, we're not saying it's not working. We're just saying there's some pitfalls, have a look at them, okay? So I have 3 things for you to take home, and I hope they're useful. Bless you. So the 3 things I would say you can check. There are 3 checkpoints, right? Checkpoint 1, check your motivation. Bertha already talked about it. It's the why, right? Why am I doing this? And, in DCI more than in ACI, we give because we want something. We heard about seeds, and we know if I give something, I get something back, which is okay and it works. If you want faster results, pimp your motivation. Right? Don't pimp your car, pimp your motivation. How do you do that? You say, I give money away, I know it's coming back to me, and I dedicate it to a world where money is not an issue anymore. I dedicate it to a world where everyone is financially free. Right? I just gave attention away and love, a smile. I wish I get more smiles and I have more love, that's okay. But I dedicate my seed to everyone. May everyone always be protected and be loved. So you can pimp your motivation by using bodhicitta, the wish to be able at some point to help everyone. Cool thing, you can do this now. Just by dedicating your seed. So just try not to think about yourself. Hello? All the time, but try to, include everyone. Because we know from flower number 3, you are actually creating that world where everyone is financially free. You are creating a world where everyone is loved. And you are creating a world where everyone's got enough time or whatever we need, right? So check your motivation, make sure you do it for everyone. Let's have a sip of water. You know, I have the good seeds to have a sip of water. For me, it's water, thank God. I dedicate it to everyone, particularly old people who never drink enough. May they always drink enough water. And then you do it. Okay. We know that one, but I just wanted to say it. Point number 2. I call it check your tonality, which is not the why, but the how you give. And I think there are a lot of things happening with giving that we are not aware of. And I'm only aware of because I have people in my family who showed me this. And I realized I'm doing the same thing. So I think what happens is that when we give, and Bertha already talked about it, we expect something. We are not even conscious about it, but we do. So you help a friend, but you really hope that they're going to be grateful to you. Right? There are strings attached. I know from my giving, definitely, there are strings attached, and I'm not even aware. And I hear a lot in Germany things like, oh, yeah, I heard about seeds. I'm recommending my colleague all the time. You know, I give him jobs. I pass on jobs that I have. But the bastard never says thank you. Also, he never recommends me back. I don't feel like doing that anymore. Okay? And if we're not aware of the strings attached, we might come to the conclusion it's a bad idea giving. Or you hear, you know, I'm a giving person. I help everyone. But I'm totally exhausted and I feel people are using me. I think I should take more care of myself. Wow. I went into a podium discussion with 5 ladies, and they were all hammering on that point, sort of, yeah, I think we should take more care of ourselves. And I went like, I don't want to be provocative, but, you know, I'm not sure that works. I understand why you think that. But there's a problem there, and I'm going to explain it. Another example is you come into the office, you're in a very good mood, you say, hello, everyone. And the grumpy colleague just said, yeah, it was time you came, give me a coffee. Okay, and again you get like, well, I'm not going to be friendly to him anymore. Now there are 2 things. When we have that feeling, there are 2 misunderstandings going on about karma and emptiness. And I just want to point them out to you so you can cut the string. The first one is that karma works one-on-one. I recommend my colleague. I expect my colleague to recommend back to me. But karma doesn't work that way. Be surprised. It doesn't. Because I give, it plants a seed. It's a potential. It grows. And it opens in a very magical, big way where I didn't expect it. And then I go like, oh, I just got a call from a client. It's a big, big thing. Yay. But I'm not aware that that is because I recommended my colleague all the time. Right? It's very important to understand that karma doesn't work one-on-one. It comes back, guaranteed, but not the person you gave it to. So cut that string. Right? Secondly, you think that karma works, we all think that karma works chronologically. I go to the office, I'm friendly, someone is friendly back, all good. It doesn't work that way. Right? Because we have a time gap, famous time gap, right? I give something, it takes a while, and then it comes back. But it's causal. Karma is causal. It's cause and effect. It's not immediate, chronologically, after I did something. But we think that. And I think that's something we have to understand. And if we do, we can cut the strings. Right? So tonality, I mean how you give. You can only totally give free, without any expectations. because the law of karma says it's coming back anyway. So don't expect anything. For me, expectation was a big game changer for my perfection of giving. I just give. And then if someone is unfriendly, that is just an old seed because I was unfriendly in the past. It has nothing to do with my friendliness. And my recommendation of the colleague is always a good seed, even if he never says thank you. The only thing I learned from that is that I'm not particularly grateful, right? If I see people who are not grateful, then that says more about me than about anyone else. So think about how you give, right? The world is not unfair. If you give, you have to, in German I call it, I'm not sure it works in English, I call it detangle, or
Untangled.
Untangle. You know, you have to cut the semantic connections in your head because they're wrong, and you have to do new connections. So what I suggest, because I think all of you did that, go back to your past, check everything you did good for someone else, any act of giving, of love, of time, of money, and disassociate it from the negative feeling you have about it. I gave this person a lot of money and they never gave it back. So fucking what? It's totally irrelevant, right? I gave this person a lot of money, full stop. I'm happy about it, I will rejoice it, and all is good. Because we know from the Mixed Nuts book, All the Kinds of Karma, that Seiji translated, that if you regret a good deed, an act of giving, you destroy the seed, you weaken it badly. So the bad news is, these are the people who do a lot for others. They do, but then in the evening, they go like, oh man, I wish I hadn't done this. And then you regret it. So they do things, they don't rejoice, they regret it. So it's almost like pulling the seeds back out of you plant it in and then you pull it back out. It's just suicidal. So let's not do this, right? Whenever you do something good, no matter the reaction, no matter what they say thank you, we don't care. You're just happy, you planted the seed. May it come back to me and everyone. Okay? So, something like that. We will have time for questions on the perfection of giving. So please think about it once we're here. We thought about this for a long time, so use us. Okay, let me see where I am. Okay, third. So check your motivation, the why. Check your tonality, the how. And check your capacity. I think this is a big mistake in ACI that all of us are doing. We hear giving is a good thing. And now we think we have to say yes to everyone. And people just do everything and give and give and give. And they don't do it clever. You have to give cleverly, right? You don't just give. It's not the act, but you have to think of all these things. So the point I want to make is, please learn to say no. It's for Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, ACI students, something they have not learned to say. They say yes to everything. Because they say, oh, giving is important, I need to give. Yeah, take all my money. No, stupid, don't. If you don't, if you have a string attached, if you will regret it, if you're not going to be happy tonight about it, do not give. It's very important for us. Giving is the thing, yes, but you have to do it according to your capacity. And if you feel it's too much, then don't. Okay? It's like I like the fitness studio analogy, right? You don't go into the fitness studio and put 50 kilos on your arm first day. Guess what? It's going to break your muscle. You're going to hurt yourself. If you give too much money or too much time, it's the same thing. Right? You start with 1-2 kilos, you do that softly, and you increase slowly. That's all you need to do. Don't go crazy. Don't give your money away. Don't give all your time and energy away if you cannot be happy about it. Right? And do say no if you think, like for example, parents. I visit my parents, my dads. I've got 2 dads left regularly. But sometimes, and I know they're big, high karmic objects, and I feel obliged. I think I have to go for the good seats. But sometimes I realize if I go now, I can almost feel I'm going to be so exhausted, it's going to take me 4 days, and I won't be able to do other things. And I do say, I'm so sorry, I'm really knackered, I can't come. And it's hard for people like us. But you have to learn your own capacity. No one's going to tell you how strong you are and what you can do. So if someone says, yeah, I want you to come to this place and work 10 hours a day, you have to decide. No one else, right? And that's a part of the perfection of giving. Don't go over your borders, otherwise you're in trouble, right? So check those 2 things. In summary, and there's a little point in there hidden, learn to give as a habit. So every day, give a little bit. Don't do Mother Teresa, I'm giving you my life and I regret it tomorrow. Just don't. But every day, do a little bit. Because we know that habitual seeds open faster. If you just save the world today, good. But if you don't do it all the time, small seeds, regular habits, your karma is not rewarding you for it. Karma is low level. And if you do something habitually, every day, €1, $1, whatever your currency is, that's going to get you there. And not today 10,000 that I don't have, talking in money. Same with time, love, and everything, right? So give habitually, give happily, let go of the result. Don't be dependent on other people telling you thank you. Man, Geshe Michael just got this out of me so badly. I learned my lessons really, no, seriously, it's because yes, we are so dependent on someone patting you on the back. Yeah, you did well. You did, and I don't need it. He forced it out of me. I got a really good training. And when you're through this, you are free. You're independent. You have this autarky. Because you just give, you let go. Yay, next one. Yeah? And they're unfriendly. Yes, so. They don't say thank you. Okay. You just give, right? Give freely, give happily, cut the strings, and then giving will work for you more. It's as I said at the beginning, it's transformatory. It will give you a body of light. It will get you on the path. It will transform you as a person, because you will be happier. You will be able to give better, and everything is going to be good. So giving it gets you there if you do it the right way. That's my plaidoyer for today. Okay, thank you so much for now.
I have a little quote. You can set boundaries around your, Okay. You can set boundaries for yourself around your giving, because if you set a boundary, it's like, I can give to you what I can. Don't ask me for more, because I've set a boundary that protects me and keeps me liking you while I like you. I mean, like myself. Yeah. So it's important to have boundaries around your money, around your time, and saying no is important, because when we do that, we're still able to like others, because we're not extending ourselves beyond our capacity. That was a wonderful talk, Eva. I really liked it. So we're going to open up the floor to questions if anybody has any. Okay. Yes.
Thank you very much. It was amazing. It's incredible. So, question: when you say no to someone, and person actually hate you and tell, "Oh, you said no to me, so you cannot help. You don't willing to help." Okay, and the person start hating you, or you give to person temptation. You know, you tempt the person to create a very bad seeds. You know, like you said, no, like I cannot help, I cannot do it, yes, I'm sorry. But the person think, oh, you can, but you said no to me. So how to avoid this, that you give to someone opportunity to plant bad seeds, you know?
Oh, you want me to take that?
No, I can take it.
Okay, go ahead, and then I'll have something to add.
Yeah. Reactions to what we do does not come from the thing we say in the moment. Okay? Separate those two things. If I know I cannot do this, I will say, I really wish I could. I really wish I could. I do. But today, if I go, I really have a problem, and I have to take care of my child, for example. That for me is more important than helping you move. I'm very sorry, perhaps I can help you find someone, but I don't have the time today. There is not a single ounce of bad seed in there, I promise you. The reaction is a criticism, right? Someone is criticizing you. That comes from having criticized people in the past, okay? These two are not connected. You have to let go of that connection, and you still have to say no. And you have to live with the fact that you get criticized.
Oh, good answer.
What about the seeds?
The seeds are great. Seeds are great. No, you don't.
No, the person, not me.
Oh, the person. You don't know who they are.
Others, we think about other people, so I don't want to challenge others to be mad or grumpy or like mad, like I don't know, like hate me, you know, because this is what I give to other person, you know. I don't want people plant bad seeds because of me. You see?
You cannot do that. I'm so sorry, honey. It's impossible. If they react badly, that's coming from you. You don't know who they are. And my experience is, the kinder I get, I never get that reaction. I never get that reaction anymore. So they don't plant bad seeds. You cannot make a person plant bad seeds. I just did a podcast on what about the karma of the other people. Don't worry about the karma of the other people. Worry about your own. You have enough to do with that, okay? You worry about your own karma and change your world, and people will not get angry in it anymore, okay?
That was great. You know, Another thing about giving, it's a very fine line between what we give to help people and what we give to enable people. So you really have to watch out, because you can give them what they want or what they need. Sometimes they want money, and the money goes to drug addiction. That's not helping them, and that's not what they need. So you really have to watch out for that. And, oh, thanks, I lowered it. It's really important that you watch out for that. I've enabled a lot in my past, and, you know, they love it when you do it, but when you stop, that's when they yell at you, and they're unhappy with you. They're not happy that you helped them in the past. They're angry because you stopped. And you have to recognize when you're part of the problem, and you have to stop and say no. Okay? Okay. Any other questions?
Bertha?
Oh, there's a person there. Oh. Tosh?
So we have a lot of ladies here, we're caretakers. So, many of us probably are Buddhism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so how you differentiate the sort of pleasing giving versus the giving perfection of giving?
Bertha, you want to come back on that, perhaps? Oh, you cannot hear?
Bertha has been she carried for both her mother and father for 18 years. So she's an expert on this. So your question was...
I'm back. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the whole question very well.
Okay. Could you repeat it, please?
Well, a lot of our ladies are caretakers, and some of our are pleaser. So how you differentiate the pleaser given versus the perfection of given?
Does people-pleasing work, is the question, and how do you differentiate it from the perfection of wisdom, a perfection of giving?
If I'm understanding, I didn't understand it correctly, I didn't hear it correctly, but I think what she's saying is that when caregivers provide help, is that what it is?
Caregivers provide help, but when the help, it goes beyond just caring and you start being a people pleaser, you're just doing things to please them instead of, it goes beyond.
Well, again, we can look at the motivation. Why are you really doing this? And just, I guess, go inside you and really find out what your motivation for doing it is. Because I had some caregivers for my parents, especially when I went on trips. And, if they are doing the job for the money, that's a totally different motivation. But I saw that when the motivation was really for providing the help or providing whatever they needed, then immediately you can tell within themselves how they are, it's like the love and the kindness and everything just flows from them. And those are the seeds that are powerful, because it doesn't have any strings attached. You are not caring in order to give money, or you are not providing that care in order to get, whatever it is. But when you're doing it really out of the bottom of your heart, and like Janice says, I took care of my elder sick parents for 18 years. And easy? No, it wasn't easy. And sometimes, even like what Ava said, sometimes I had to say, I need a break. I need to take a small break because I also need to take care of me. And when I was starting to be tired, it was a sign that I needed to have a break. And leaving my parents with a good caretaker was a good seed, because I also needed to give to myself. And, they set the limits like Ava was just talking about. I don't know if I answered your question this way.
I used to be a people pleaser, because I call it a teacher's pet also, you want everyone to like you. Because you feel so insecure, and many of us feel that. I used to feel that. So you go around, try to please people and do what they want and stuff. The problem is it doesn't work. Because I also used to be, might still be, a very loud and kind of person. Whatever. So, and if you have harsh speech, you will be criticized. So I was a people pleaser, trying to do it right for everyone, but still I was quite harsh, which meant I got criticized nonetheless. So I understand the urge to feel loved and recognized. The only way you get there is by recognizing other people. I think the first years of my practice, I just went around praising people and stopped being so self-concerned about me. Not like, I want this, but hey, you did that great. Like Janice said, you look amazing, at the beginning, So I think it's important to see how great other people are, start to see that, and then people will like you. And then you don't have to please them anymore. Because, right? Because the pleasing doesn't work, because you are giving yourself away. And on this path, we need self-confident people who know who they are and who can deal with themselves. Because this path isn't easy. And you need to be strong. And so you need your energies. And you need to take care of yourself. A Buddha is always happy If you give too much because you want to get a positive feedback, you're not going to be happy and you're not going to progress on the path. So give love and affection, but take care of yourself. And then everyone likes you and you get the same result. People pleasing doesn't work, so sorry, okay? Yeah.
We have time for a couple more questions if there are any.
Over here.
Oh, yeah.
Take you first, or?
Patrick, no.
Anh Tâm thì em á, làm sao mình phân biệt được những cái giới hạn của cái cho bản thân mình.
Kêu mù dắt qua đường.
Nói chậm cơ. Việc của em là làm sao mình phân biệt giữa giới hạn của bản thân về chăm sóc cho bản thân mình với lại cho cái bản ngã của mình á, cho cái thứ khi mà mình say no.
Okay. Her questions is that how to make the difference between the self take care and the balance with the self cherishing. Yeah.
Ooh, really good question. Boy, that's a tough one. You know, you have to remember that we're doing this for the benefit of all beings. And you are one of all beings. So you have to take care of yourself while you're taking care of other people. And just like we talked about earlier, sometimes taking care of other people and taking care of yourself is saying no. No, I can't do that. I'm happy you asked me, but I hope I can be able to do it later, but I cannot do it right now. I have to pick up my twin grandbabies. Yeah, so, you know, remember to take care of yourself so you have the energy to take care of others. I hope that helps.
Your motivation to take care of yourself is in order to take care of other people. So it's not self-cherishing. Because if you're ill and sad, you're going to be self-centered and you're going to cherish yourself. Only if you take care of yourself, you're strong enough to say, when someone asks you, how are you? You say, I'm fine, how are you? But if you don't take good care of yourself, you're going to brag on for half an hour how bad you feel. So taking care of yourself is the opposite of self-cherishing, I believe.
Can I say something?
If the motivation is to help others. Yeah?
I just wanted to add, you know, it's like almost like when you're on an airplane and they start giving you the, you know, the stewards they give you the instructions in the plane, right? And they say in case of, you know, that the weather's bad or whatever, the oxygen mask will fall. And what do they tell you? You have to place the oxygen mask first on you and then help others. So you have to be well in order to really be able to help others. I think that's a very good example.
Thank you very much, teachers. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Online? No.
Was there a question online? Oh, no. Oh, are there any other questions on present?
Last orders, please.
Well, I believe, this is our mentor, Hector. Thank you, Hector.
Hi, thank you so much. It's obvious that you've practiced the things you're sharing about, and I particularly like you talking about the difficult points of this practice, yeah? Can you share, maybe one each or a few of you, where were some pivotal points where you thought, this really doesn't work, I think I have to give it up, or I'm not good at it, or, you know, everyone has that difficult moment, and then something happens if you're still here. Yeah. You realize, oh, of course, it's bigger than that. I'm sure you've had something like that. I would love for us to hear how each of you overcame that obstacle. Yeah.
Well, I had a big obstacle. I had a little boy that was born to my sister, and I loved him. He was an angel, and as he he lived with Scott and I for a while, and as he grew older, he got addicted on Oxycontin. And he was also caretaking his younger brother who had cancer and then died. And he was just a kid. They were teenagers. But I felt for him, so I bought him a house. And I said, you can have that, you can own that house by by paying small amounts in rent. Well, this went on for years, and he never paid me. He didn't take care of anything. And I realized that I was totally enabling him and hurting him. He was using every penny he got for more Oxycontin, and he was just spiraling down. I sold the house, and I brought him closer to home, and then I gave him a store to manage. And then he was stealing from me. And that was, I had taken care of him since he was a child, and that was the final straw. And I knew that, giving is also sometimes dangerous, and sometimes you have to stop. So I was using this, I learned this practice of, it's okay to say no and to still continue to give, but what they need, not what they want. There's a difference. They want things, but those things can hurt them. So if we look deep, we start to give them what will help them, not what will hurt them.
Bertha, you want to? Bertha, quickly.
Well, yeah, just really quick. I just wanted to mention that sometimes it's just so easy for you to slip out of this path. As I was mentioning in my story, that I came back from a super wonderful trip to start feeling sad, and my health, and I was just lonely, and I started, and all of a sudden I'm out of the path. And this wake up call, it's like you have to have this top of mind all the time. Like Ava said, you have to do something every day. That habit must be created within our minds to be giving every day, because once a habit is done, then you do it automatically, like a habit. So I just, this was like a wake up call to me, that even as I try to always be, giving and have this at the top of my mind, how sometimes you slip with, very easily. So that's what I have to say, is just, we have to, make a habit of this all the time. Thank you.
Nice. Okay, I have 1 minute. Okay. I think I want to say that it's a path, and we are perfectionists, and that's a real big obstacle to learning the perfection of giving, apparently. And you just have to experiment. I think my thing is, you make mistakes all the time. It's like we are middle way. We're trying to get this balance between I take care of myself, and sometimes I very consciously go over my energies, because I really want to do, if it's for my teacher, I can make the decision to be totally dead in the evening without being unhappy. So there is no right and wrong. You have to, and you're going to make thousands of mistakes. I think my reckoning is like, there's just no way you can do this right. But you experiment, and you find out, oh, I went to my dad, that was too much. Next time I have to say no. Oh, that was too little, I really should have done this. So basically you have to decide, and you have to experiment, and at some point you get a good feeling for it. And then you might lose it again and you start all over. So the whole thing is not to get perfectionist, but to experiment and to be relaxed when you fail. Because that's what we do, and that's okay. But by trying, you become successful, just by trying. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Lunch.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny, Eva, and Becca. And thank you all for being here. Net EG class about 1 hour. Please take a good break. Rest your eye, eat something, and come back refreshed. See you soon.